Welcome to the fourth part, which is related to heat exchanger. We have already covered few of the sections: input required, fixing location in the plot plan, and fixing elevation. In this section, we'll start discussing on layout aspects. We'll start with the shell and tube exchanger, then spiral exchanger, and plate type exchanger. We'll try to look into all the activities which we need to take care, all the layout aspects which we need to take care while finalizing the layout design. So if you see, we are having shell and tube exchangers located in parallel to each other, and most of the time we are locating perpendicular to the pipe rack. Okay, so shell and tube exchangers are generally located with the channel end away from the pipe rack. The channel end away from the pipe rack. There is a reason behind it why we are locating exchanger like this, to facilitate the tube bundle removal. Okay, in shell and tube exchanger we need to remove the bundle, so we need to have space. If we are going to pull these tubes out, they need we have to have some space behind it, so we try to place exchanger in such a way so that the channel is towards access way. Care to be taken to provide adequate space for maintenance and operational access, and also unobstructed escape routes from area in case of emergency. Okay, so this is a typical arrangement. If you see, if we are closing our piping here, we need to have 750 minimum space in between, 750 minimum space in between. Okay, so if you look at here, if the length of the exchanger is L, so we need to start our layout with L spacing, considering it as a bundle pull out area. The yellow one is bundle pull out area for pulling the tubes. Behind that we are having a access for the movement and for maintenance activities, and in front sometimes we have to open it to do the maintenance or cleaning activities, so we need to have some clear space in front of exchanger and in between exchanger and pipe rack. So this much space is also required in front of exchanger. If you look at here, if you see, the piping is going this way, we are completing all the inlet outlet pipes. Okay, this way we have to have operator access 750 minimum this way, and after completing piping and between other equipment we need to have clear 750 space here also. And in front, if you see, the piping is routed, but we have to raise it at this point to clear the headroom so that a person can move clearly while doing the maintenance activities at this section. So we need to have clear space here, clear space in behind the exchangers for bundle pull out. No piping should be there. If you see here, the pipe we have routed at an angle so that while opening the bolts at this section there is no obstruction. Okay, sometimes we provide breakable flanges so that we can easily remove these pipes, and we can operator can stand here and do the maintenance activities. Same way here, we operator can have to come and open the bonnet and nut bolts and do the maintenance activity. So we have to provide clear access in front of exchanger flanges actually. Okay, because bolts will be there only, removable flanges will be there, so we need to take care all these things. In exchanger, batteries try to group lines and run piping at common elevation. If you see, we have routed all the lines to a common elevation, and at same elevation these lines are coming out from the exchanger area and entering into the pipe rack. Wherever possible, structure can be taken from exchanger foundation. If you see, to support these lines we need to have one structure with us. If you see, this kind of structure will be there to support the horizontal runs. And what is the best way? We can club this support with the foundation of exchanger also. It will save us two structural foundation, but we need to do this in consultation with civil team and mechanical team. In elevated exchangers, try to run piping beneath the platform for ease of supporting and neat layout. If the exchanger is located at grade, we have to provide a common support to support the lines moving at same level. But if this exchanger is located at a higher elevation, these lines can be routed below the structure so that proper supporting can be done. This is exceptional case for underground cooling water system, when the cooling water in and out are there and we are having our cooling water headers underground. We can have direct connections like this. Okay, we generally use a spool piece between butterfly valve and flange. Okay, and this line will come down and it will also connect it to return line. Okay, and sometimes we are having an antifreeze bypass, so we can route it like this so that all three valves are operated and have proper access to operate. Here also, if you see, we have routed this cooling water away from this bonnet so that operator can stand here and open the bonnet at the time of maintenance. This is a typical piping system for plate type exchanger. If you see, one plate type exchanger is here, another one is here. Okay, we have plate removal area in between, that is common for both the exchangers. And first try to understand where are the nozzles. Inlet outlet, inlet outlet. If you see in elevation, we are having a 4 pair of 4 nozzles. Okay, 2 below, then 2 at upper side. And this is a typical piping. You will be having a few control valves in the system. Okay, and we can locate it like this in horizontal front view. These are the control valve. If you like, line is routed like this and coming up, then coming out. Same way it is coming this way, and coming out. Okay, this is a mirror piping. This is also mirror. We can route these piping, these control valves in front of this so that the proper access is there, clear movement is there, headroom clearance is there. Okay, headroom clearance is there here also, and we have a all around movement space also. So we have located all the control valves, one this side, one this side. Okay, rest of the two we have located in front of it. So this way we can locate all the control valves, all the isolation valves towards the access, and then we can enter into the pipe rack like we have done for other shell and tube exchangers. This is a typical piping arrangement for spiral exchangers. In spiral exchanger we are having few nozzles at top and few are at side. So isolation valve, isolation valve, isolation valve, isolation valve, and then lines are going out. Okay, only thing we have to keep in mind that these isolation valves should be accessible. If we are having control valve, then we can locate it at grade or at a structural platform. Then we can come up and go out. Okay, only thing is we have to take care all the control valves and isolation valves need to have proper access. So in between we are having a proper access, all around we are having access for movement and maintenance activities. So these were all the design aspects, layout aspects which we covered for shell and tube exchanger, spiral exchanger, and plate type exchanger. In next part, we'll try to look at same layout aspects in 3D pictorial views. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next part.